Welcome to another episode of the podcast. My name is Nico, and today my guest is Giorgi Khudoian, a really good friend of mine. Gio, thank you for being on the podcast today.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
So, why don't we start the episode on how we met? So, me and Gio met at the ODYLP Community Service Exchange Program by the United States Department of State, where we spent 3 weeks together in the US doing a variety of different activities. It was pretty diverse. I mean, we went to a forest once to measure the environment and stuff like that, and we also did a lot of other things such as learning how to speak in public. So let's start. So what did you learn from the program? What was the highlight for you?
So yeah, me and you met in the U.S. Embassy first time, and then we flew together to America, spent 3 weeks in the United States, visited Seattle, Washington. It was pretty fun. The activities were pretty random. We were in a forest, we were in a kitchen, on a farm as well. But yeah, honestly, it taught me a lot about leadership, community service, and public speaking. We met with a lot of leaders, with a lot of people who lead different companies. We learned more about the American culture, about giving, about learning how to help others. And I think that is the most important part of this program because we did volunteer, and the key of that program was volunteering. And that's what we did, and that's essentially, I think, the most important thing, the biggest takeaway of this program was helping other people, learning how to volunteer, and doing community service. I think it's very important that we help each other, that we do good. And I think that when we do that, we feel very good in our souls. And I think it's very important because karma.
Karma, absolutely, I agree. I mean, we had really interesting discussions, especially with Josh Binda, if you remember, one of the youngest people to ever be elected in a position like that. I believe he was the head of the Council of Kings County, was it?
Yeah.
And we spoke with him, and we had a very interesting conversation. He was a young politician. He was 24, and he spoke about the challenges that he overcame. He went through a lot. He had to work really hard to get where he was, and I think that this is something that everybody should hear. Hard work is one of the most important things, and this program also taught us that, hey, look, not everything goes your way. Some things get messed up, but you have to overcome these challenges, and you have to make it. Everything you do, you must do for yourself.
Absolutely.
For your own success. And you should also do it for other people to help. Why should you help other people? Because when you help other people, you're also helping yourself. Because when the people around you are happy, they're doing well, you will also be doing well. When you do good to someone, when you help them, they're also going to help you. And I believe that this is something that we should do all over the world, not only in our country. Because this is something that the world lacks, in my opinion. Sometimes people don't help each other because they say, oh, this is a waste of my time. Why should I be helping other people when I have to help myself first? No, you should be helping other people to make the community better, and your life is going to be better automatically.
Yeah, I mean, what you said is very important. Essentially, it's all about being human. That's what we are. If we don't help each other, we're not human. And it's very interesting what you said, that in order to help others, you need to first help yourself. So everything you do, you need to do for yourself, yes, but because in order to help others and do good for the world, you need to help yourself first. So in order to be able to help others, whether it's giving them money, whether it's giving them opportunities, or telling them the right words that is going to spark the motivation for them to take action, you first have to develop yourself in order to help others. So it's very important what you said. So yeah, that was
absolutely
very insightful.
Absolutely, I agree. And I think that learning about community service in America really did change us, because now what we're doing is, when we become successful, I believe that we're going to be helping a lot of people in our own ways. And now let's talk about our different ways. So Gio, you have your own business. You're a young entrepreneur. You're 18 years old, and you're currently working with clients from all over the world.
Yeah.
Now, you have chosen a very interesting path in life. A lot of people, what they'll do is, after they finish high school, they'll go to university, they'll get a degree, maybe they'll get another master's degree or PhD, and then they go to work, they work on their careers. However, you decided that you're not going to go to university. You're going to go straight into this business that you have built, which is about digital marketing, as you have told me. So I want to ask you, do you think it was the right way, not going to higher education, just going straight to working on the business? Because a lot of times you learn really crucial skills when going to university. You meet a lot of interesting people. What would you think? What do you think about this way?
I completely agree, but it all depends about what you want to do. So if you want to go to university, it depends on what you want to do. Obviously, if you want to be a lawyer, if you want to be an engineer or a doctor, yeah, I completely agree. You can't learn how to be an engineer or a doctor watching YouTube videos. But I didn't take that path. I took the path of sales and marketing. I think something that I do really well. I want to say I'm passionate about it. I'm passionate about helping people. But I think that is what I'm good at, which is why I chose my path. You said other people go to university, go down the traditional path. Well, I thought if I want to get results that other people don't get, if I want to get exceptional results, I want to do something that not all people do. So if I want to get the results that not all people get, I need to do something that not all people are willing to do, which is taking the risk of not going down the traditional path and pursuing your own business, which is becoming an entrepreneur, taking risks, opening up businesses, asking people, sending out cold emails, trying to get your first piece of work, trying to get competent and get experiences with other people in order to become skilled and competent in that field. I decided not to go to university because I thought it is not useful to me. I honestly think university is a scam for the most part, other than if you don't want to become any of the careers that I mentioned. So like a doctor, engineer, or a lawyer, something like that. So for sales and marketing, I don't think you need to go to university where you learn outdated knowledge. You need to study the market, what the market is telling you to do. So the market is influenced by people, and you need to look at the trends that are influencing people's decisions today in order to understand how to market yourself, how to correctly position yourself and make money essentially. So you need to look at the way world is functioning today in order to be good at sales and marketing, in order to know what to sell, what people want, and then position yourself in that flow in order to get wet, position yourself in the way the river flows. So you need to look at the trends. If you go to university, I don't think you're going to get a lot of practical knowledge. I think most of the knowledge is theoretical. Obviously, there's top universities that teach you practical knowledge, but I think for the most part, most of the things that are taught in university are theory. I was privileged. I was given the opportunity to work from the age of 14. I've been doing sales and marketing for 5 years now. Even though I'm 18, I started at the age of 14 with my grandma. So it was COVID, and I was going to my grandma's store. She was selling furniture fittings. After I would finish my online school, I would go to her. I would sit there, watch her work. I was 14 at the time, and I would see her talk to clients, talk about the product, how she was convincing them to buy this other than that. And slowly but surely, month after month, I started learning how to speak with customers. I was learning more about the field of furniture fittings, which is a very specific field. But if you
It's a
think
niche field, you could say.
if you think about it, it is a very important thing because everyone has furniture, everyone has cabinets, everyone has closets that you open, and all of that works because there's hinges, there's runner systems, there's systems that open up. All of that is furniture fittings. The more houses that that the companies build, the more people that buy furniture, the more furniture fittings you sell. So it's a very niched business, but it is very lucrative. So I started learning about that from my grandma, and after around 3 to 4 months, I started working myself there. I told my grandma to sit at home, and I was doing the work instead of her. I learned how to sell. I learned everything about furniture fittings. I would read books. I would learn about the business more, and then something very interesting happened. So it was 2022. I was close to becoming 15, and at that time, I was in Moscow with my grandma doing all that things, and the war broke out, the Russia-Ukraine war. And obviously, that was horrible. A lot of people died, obviously, but that gave me an opportunity to make money. How? So all the European companies that would send products to Russia, which were the most expensive ones, by the way, the most expensive furniture fittings were coming from Europe. They stopped sending products to Russia. They sanctioned Russia. And so everything there, the prices grew 200, 300%. And so that time, I took the advantage of online marketing. I started posting ads online. I started getting the attention of big companies that would call me up. They would ask me to give them the products because it was a situation where everyone needed those products and there was none of them. So I was one of the only ones in Russia that was mass selling those products. So in a couple of weeks, I emptied our storage. I sold all our products, and that's when I started online marketing. So when the war broke out, I took the opportunity. I leveraged online marketing and I started reselling. I started because after the product's finished, I needed to get it somewhere. A lot of brands were closing down. A lot of people were selling their products. So I would just sit all day on the online marketplaces, search for those European products, buy them, sell them, buy them, sell them. And like that, in a span of 6 to 7 months at the age of 15, I generated my first big sum of money, which was $70,000 at that time at the age of 15. And that was my first experience of online marketing. And I took the advantage. Something horrible happened and I turned it into something good. I leveraged the knowledge that I learned from my grandma, and that was my first experience of online marketing. And afterwards, I came back to Tbilisi. I started school, COVID ended, and then I decided that, I made so much money. I learned about marketing. Now I need to leverage this knowledge. I need to do something. And that's when I started my online marketing business. And now I have clients spanning
From all over the world.
US, England, Australia, and I work with them, whether it's email marketing, SEO, whether it's any marketing channel that I can help them sell more products or services, I do that. And I did that because I had the experience prior to that, and I got inspired to pursue that, but now on a bigger stage.
Fantastic. And it didn't seem easy, did it? It wasn't easy. Like, I mean, you said like it was easy, but it wasn't, was it?
It's always very interesting when you talk about your experiences. You should always make it easy because because you're going to spark interest of other people. Because when you make it seem like it's hard, no one wants to listen. But when you frame it in a way like I did, everyone wants to listen. Is that right? It makes you more curious.
Absolutely. Yeah. But you talked about the university, so I want to go back to that topic for a bit. And you said that you believe that it was mostly a scam. Well, I'll give you a really good example. Mark Zuckerberg, when he went to Harvard, for example, he got the network. He met some people, and together they started Facebook, which changed the world. It changed how social media works, and it changed how the internet works. And he's one of the most successful people and one of the most influential people today in the world. And what would you say to people like Mark Zuckerberg? Sam Altman, for example, he went to Stanford, and he got the idea when he was in Stanford to become an entrepreneur. He later would drop out, and he eventually created ChatGPT. So, as you can see, a lot of people here, they went to university, and this was their foundation to success. What would you say to that?
So, I agree. University, honestly, I respect anyone that is serious about their career, that goes to university, works hard, and does the things that they're supposed to do to become successful in that area. Obviously, universities like Stanford, Harvard, Yale, there's a lot of important people. There's a lot of competent people that go there. Obviously, you need brains to get into those universities, and respect, honestly, to whoever gets to those top universities. That is a serious achievement, and I respect anyone who does that. And Mark Zuckerberg, he leveraged his connections. He turned that into a business opportunity and made a lot of money, made a successful product that we all use today, honestly, and that governs most people's lives today. And honestly, what Elon Musk said about jobs is completely right. Most jobs today, they don't require a degree. A recent sales position that I landed in a US company, I don't have a degree. I didn't go to university. I'm 18 years old. I couldn't possibly have a degree. The people who hold the same position as me in that company had to study for 4 or 5 years, went to university, graduated, and only then landed the same position that I did, which tells you that practical skills are more valued than a degree. A degree doesn't tell you anything. I think what a degree guarantees an employer, because at the end of the day, university is a business too. University has convinced all of us and has put into us this generational programming or brainwashing, whatever you want to call it, that if you do not go to university, you're a failure. You cannot be successful. You need university. So they convinced us that in order to get into whatever dream job that we want, or in order to become successful, we need to go through them. We need to go through university in order to get on the other side and land that dream job or become successful. So I think they've done a really good job at that. They've marketed themselves very, very well to the point where everyone in the world thinks they need to go to university in order to become successful. So at the end of the day, university is a business as well. They position themselves in a way that you have to go through me, you have to pay me money in order to land a job or become successful, which is pretty fantastic, honestly. The amount of work that it took to convince us on that level where, parents are pressuring their children to go to university, where students think that if they don't go there, if they don't take that path, they're not going to become successful, is honestly a very impressive thing, what they've done. But practical skills are obviously more valued than theoretical skills, because if you get a degree, that doesn't mean anything. When I'm as an employer who owns a company, is going to employ you, my question is, what value are you going to deliver to me? What kind of value are you going to give to my company? Are you going to increase my sales? Are you going to save me time? Whatever it is that you're going to do, you don't need a degree. You need to show them how you can help them. If you come into my company and tell me that I can increase your income from $100,000 per month to $150,000 per month, I don't care if you have a university degree. If you have a university degree, all I care about is if you can help me. And if you can do that, I'll pay you the commission it takes. If you get me from $150,000 to $150,000, it's completely reasonable for me to pay you $10,000, isn't it?
Absolutely reasonable. How do you know that person will be able to do it? You're supposed to pay this person $10,000 in the first month, but you don't know if he's going to be able to do the job. And when you say university degree, say you know that he's qualified. He went through courses. He met professors who are experts in this field, who know what they're doing, because it is different compared to high school. These professors mostly are retired. They have real world experience, and they're not passing their knowledge to their students. A university degree shows them that, hey, look, I went through this course. I know I learned this stuff. I learned from him. I know exactly what to do, and I can help you grow it. And I have this legitimacy by my degree, which took 4 years to get. And it's not easy to get a degree. A lot of people drop out of university because they find it too hard. And you have to respect that. And you said that university might be too expensive. Well, a lot of universities, particularly in the United States, actually offer scholarships. Students that they like, students that need the scholarships, who can't pay a big amount, they give them full ride scholarships. They pay for their entire tuition and cost of living. So what do you think about that?
So first of all, let's say you're an employer, you own a company. There's two employees that you can hire. One employee who has practical real-world experience, who for 4 years has been working for companies, learning from them, growing their customer base, increasing their profits, and has actually achieved real-world results for a specific company working there as a person with no experience. For 4 years, they have been working in a company with real-world experience. And then you have another employee that has 4 years of university experience, has graduated, gotten their degree. Who would you rather hire? A person with practical real-world experience who has gotten results, or a person who has just got out of university and has theoretical knowledge and has not gotten any real-world results? Obviously, you're gonna hire the guy who actually has practical real-world experience.
I would, but here's the thing. The guy who has real-world experience and decided to choose that route, he worked really hard to achieve everything. So something that I believe that we can conclude to in this scenario is that both of them can be respected because both of them worked really hard. And they chose different routes. However, I think that both of them should be respected. And because both of them worked really hard to do everything.
I agree, but it doesn't matter because business is ruthless. I'm trying to make money. I'm trying to make profit. All that matters to me is not if you worked hard, is how can you help me? And if you cannot help me, if you cannot guarantee me that you can generate me, let's say, the results that I want to get from the position that I'm going to put you in, I don't care if you worked hard. I don't care if you studied for 10 years or 20 years. All I care about is what results are you going to get me. And you having practical real world experience gives me more chance and less chance of failing than hiring the person that has no experience at all, which is completely logical for a company. You don't care if a person works hard or not. All you care about is what can they do for you. Business is ruthless. They don't care.
Absolutely.
They don't care.
Absolutely.
All they care about is
agree.
how you can help them. So that's what matters. And regarding university being expensive, most people are in debt, to be honest. I think student debt loans, I think they total up to $1.7 trillion in the United States only. $1.7 trillion.
It's a lot of money.
That's more than GDP of most countries. That is absolutely crazy. Most students are in debt, and they're going to be paying that debt for the rest of their lives. And
I think that's a major problem.
That just shows you that university is a trap for the most part. Obviously, you can go for cheaper options and stuff, but if just looking at the statistics, so much debt accumulated by student loans, it's just astronomical. Most of these students are going to be paying those loans for the rest of their lives. I remember talking with a real estate millionaire. I was in Marbella. We were sipping cocktails, and we were talking about business. And he told me that he obviously helps people buy real estate. He's a consultant as well. And what he told me is, I had an 25-year-old guy approach me and tell me that he wants to get a loan from the bank to buy real estate and make an investment, so in order that in the future they will be able to pay it off, so that the property value grows. And we were trying to get the loan from the bank. That's what he was telling me, and they didn't give the loan to him because he was $250,000 in student debt loans. $250,000, and that is a reality for a lot of people.
And that's unfortunate in my opinion because these universities do provide knowledge. And some universities, a lot of them, provide practical knowledge. They take their students out for surveys. They let their students do projects. And thing is, it's, in my opinion, still a good idea to go to university for the network, and you can get practical education. You can get a lot of theoretical knowledge as well. You need theoretical knowledge because when you look at a problem, you should think, hey, how should I approach this problem? A person who doesn't have theoretical knowledge might make the mistake of trying every way and eventually becomes much harder than it actually should be. And I think that universities being expensive is a major problem, and I hope that there is some kind of solution. However, I don't see it happening really soon because these institutions are private and there's really a lot of demand for these universities.
At the end of the day, it's a business.
It's a business,
and they're making
absolutely.
money. And I absolutely agree. You need to have theoretical knowledge, but you need to apply that knowledge in the real world. And there's a lot of other different alternatives that you can use, except universities. In today's world, especially where we live in a digital economy, if you don't want to listen to me, listen to one of the most richest people in the world, Elon Musk, who is at the forefront of technology, automotive engineering. He tells you that you don't need college to succeed. All that
But
you
he
need.
went to college himself.
He did, but now is a different time. Every day in the world that we live in today changes for the better. Whether it's AI, whether it's the culture, whether it's trends, whether it's the way people think, because the markets are influenced by people, and the people are unpredictable. That is why we live in an unpredictable world, because there's so many choices, decisions, things that impact the way world works every single day, which is why our world is so unpredictable. It changes every single day.
Absolutely.
And I believe that you have all the information you need at your fingertips. You have AI, you have the internet, and nothing I think that is taught in university cannot be learned online. Obviously, when we're talking about engineering, whether it's being a lawyer or a
Or
doctor,
being a doctor, you need to get education for that. Absolutely.
obviously you need to get education. But when we're talking about marketing, when we're talking about sales, when we're talking about
It
AI
depends.
or any other field, I think you can become pretty successful without university, without getting into debt, and without wasting
think so
4 years
too.
of your life.
I think so too. And some jobs genuinely do require university, like doctors, for example. I mean, they're saving people's lives, and
Obviously.
they need to have the knowledge, theoretical and practical. And medical school includes practical and theoretical knowledge at the same time. It takes a lot of time, but these university degrees are required. And for something that you do, for the stuff that you do, I don't think I think that university might not be required. Some people might choose to go to university first and then start the business, or just go straight to business. And I think that what we can conclude to from this topic is that you need to adapt. You need to be able to quickly adapt, because the world is unpredictable and the world is changing.
Yeah, if you don't adapt, you die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how biology works, and that's how life works.
Absolutely.
Now, let's staying on the same topic,
Absolutely.
the education system. So we talked about, going to university,
Yeah.
going to a higher education. Now let's talk about the school education system. So this has been a recent discussion in the past few years, that school, from grades 1 to 12, do not prepare students for the future. What do you think? Did it prepare you for like what you're doing right now?
For the most part, no. Obviously, you need to send your kids to school, but you need to be sure that it is not going to be detrimental for them, because a lot of schools, they brainwash their children, especially in the West, in the UK, in the
What do
US.
you mean by brainwash?
So there's a lot of ideologies that are being planted in children's minds by teachers. You know that you study in the UK.
I mean, not really. There's no ideologies being planted in me. I mean, what we're doing is we're learning.
Aren't
but
your
there's no-
teachers and students that study with you telling you that you need to prepare to be a good employee, and you need to be prepared?
I've heard students tell me that, but the thing is, this is the specific student that believes that, hey, look, this is why school is good for me. There's other students that I know who are working hard. They want to be doctors. They want to be I know one person wants to be a musician. I know another person who also wants to be a cricket player.
Well, it all depends on the person.
It all depends on the person. So
they don't let other forces influence what
that's
their
individual.
goal.
It's not. This is not that the Western education system. It does not brainwash kids. It's that the thing is, the people that you meet, it's different. So you might tell someone that, hey, look. You might tell me that, look, I don't think that university and education is right. Someone might tell me that, hey, look, you need to get a 9 to 5 job. The other person might tell me something completely different. This is diversity. This is a diversity of thoughts, diversity of ideas. Staying on the same topic, the education system. Now, we talked about how university might be useful, how it might be different for everybody. So I want to talk about the high school education system. So you went to high school, of course, and I'm currently in my last year of high school, and I'm finishing it this year. And now let's talk about our experience and what we think about it. So it's been it's been a hot topic for the last few years, that the education system, especially school, does not prepare students for the future. And what would you say to that? So did school prepare you for what you're doing right now?
Absolutely not. I don't think the schools prepare children for the real world. Well, obviously, it's
What would you say the real world is?
The real world, whether it's learning the reality of how harsh the world can be, whether it's how badly people can treat you, or what are the things that you need to do when you're going through a very hard time, when you're being pressured, where there's a lot of things going against you. You need skills like emotional regulation. You need discipline. You need consistency. You need to change your perspective on certain things. These are very small things which are very important. So let's just take an example. A person that is trying to start a business or apply to university or whatever it is, let's say they got rejected, declined, they couldn't do the thing that they wanted to. They're overwhelmed, they're stressed, they're trying to push through all these difficulties. School didn't teach you to prepare for that. School didn't teach you to stay regulated, composed. School didn't teach you to shift your perspective from these difficulties are against me to these difficulties are for me. They're sharpening me. They're making me become a better person, a more stronger, more formidable version of myself. That these difficulties are a source of growth. That the complexities that you face in life are an opportunity to grow as a person. And honestly, school is important. Obviously, you need to go to school as a child. You need to go there. You need to get educated. Obviously, you need the social interactions. You need to get friends. You need to be in a environment of people your age. But past a certain point, I think past 11th grade, 12th grade, I think the things that you're taught are not really relevant to what you want to do. Especially most schools, when you already know what you want to do. Most of the subjects that you learn are useless to you. So school didn't prepare me for life's difficulties. I think life prepared me for the difficulties by throwing me into the storm and me navigating that storm and getting on the other side.
But here's the thing, how would school prepare you for, like, let's say, being composed when you fail? And I believe that failure is part of success, because take a look at take a look at Elon Musk.
Yeah.
When he launched his first rocket, it couldn't even take off. It just exploded. Absolutely. And it took him 4 tries. He could have given up after the first one, saying, okay, this won't work. Second one, third one, didn't work. The fourth one finally made it to orbit, and for him to create his Falcon 9 rocket, which was able to land back on the Earth, it took him years of spending money, doing research, improving the product, and he finally was able to achieve it. And failure is a part of success. Now, how would school, let's say, prepare you for failure? How do you see it happening?
So the thing is, the schools, they teach us about economics. They don't teach us how to manage our money. They teach us about history, but know how to apply those lessons into our lives. There's a lot of things that school teaches us, which I consider empty knowledge. It's very important for me to learn the things that I can apply into my own life, because why would I get all that knowledge if I'm not going to apply it to my life? What good is it to get all that knowledge, to absorb all that like a sponge, but not actually use that knowledge in order to improve your life or to apply it into your life? I think that's very important. All the knowledge that you receive, I believe, should be applied into your own life. That is what I consider wisdom. Wisdom is a practical knowledge that you have, that you can apply, that you can share with others, which they can implement into their own lives to tackle specific challenges. School didn't teach you to be resilient. School didn't teach you to use difficulties as an opportunity for growth. School didn't teach you all the difficulties that life is going to throw your way and how to navigate that and how to get on the other side of the storm. Personally, for me, it didn't. I think there's a lot of empty knowledge. There's a lot of A's and B's and C's and a lot of mathematical equations that, for me personally, zero benefit. Don't use it. Have never used the Pythagorean theorem outside school. So yeah.
But everyone's life is different.
Yeah.
Because me and you, let's say, we don't have the same life, and the other people, they don't face the same challenges. So how would school teach you? Because they teach you history, for example. They teach you what, let's say, great leaders have done. They teach you that great leaders overcame this. Alexander the Great, they teach you. Napoleon, they teach you. But I think it's up to you to implement these into your own life and apply them into your own life, because everyone's life is different. School can't teach 20 kids, you have to do this when this happens, because everybody has a different situation. Everybody has different challenges and hardships that they face. What would you say to that?
There's some universal truths, and there's some very important things that you need to be equipped with when you go outside school. So yeah, school, you said school can't teach you that, it's all dependent on you. But if it's all dependent on me, why do I need school then? I can open up a book, I can open up the internet and learn about Napoleon. That's exactly the thing. I think school also is a very important thing. That gives you a very important opportunity where you can apply all that knowledge yourself. Then school becomes useless, obviously. If you don't get that knowledge from school, and if you get it just by you researching yourself and taking those practical lessons and applying it into your own life, why do you need school then? Then the question becomes, are you going to do it yourself? It's always
most people our age wouldn't.
And it always comes down to you, what you want to do, what the type of life that you want to live. School can absolutely prepare you for a lot of things, which they don't. Because I think it's not feasible for them. That's what I think.
Absolutely. And the thing is, right, a lot of people our age, the problem that we have is that, okay, they don't go to school. What are they going to do for the whole rest of the day? Because our society, our generation is not disciplined and hardworking enough, in my opinion.
That's the problem.
If there's no school, people our age will just do nothing all day.
That's the problem. The problem
There's
is not,
no alternative to school. Okay, the school system's bad. It doesn't teach me the things I want to learn, but there is no alternative to it, because if, let's say, my child doesn't go to school, he's going to sit down playing video games all day. And even video games can teach you skills, in my opinion. I mean, communication skills, you sometimes have to work together with, let's say, your teammates to solve an issue. But a lot of times, that's all they're going to do, and they're going to waste time. So what is the alternative?
I think the problem is people. Because at the end of the day, school is going to finish, university is going to finish. You're going to be all on your own anyway.
Eventually.
And it all depends what you want to do with your life. What is it that you want to do? What impact do you want to make? It's all on you at the end of the day. Obviously, we need direction. We need directions, and school gives us that direction. But past a certain point, you need to do things yourself. So that's also a very big problem, because a lot of people, I would say majority, half of the people that go to university go there only because they don't know what to do otherwise. So like, I don't go to university, what am I going to do? But I've faced that problem myself a lot of times, and at the end of the day, action is the
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a solution to all problems. Action solves all. If you want to figure out what is it that you want to do, go and try out different things. Go apply for jobs. Go search on the internet. Go search for things that that might inspire you, that are lucrative. Let's say if your goal is to make yourself feel good, or your goal is to make money. People are different. Whatever it is that you want to do, try, take action, do the things that you don't know that you don't know the result to. Just try, take action, take the steps, and eventually you're going to find something. And I think going to university, if you don't want to do, is very wrong. I think you should just sit there, ask yourself a couple questions, reflect on your life, and I think pretty fast you're going to come to a conclusion if you take some action.
Here's what I would say. I think that social norms are a problem in today's world, because it's a social norm that you have to have everything figured out when you're 18. You want to know what you want to do. You have to have a plan. And a lot of people don't have a plan. They get pressured into going into a degree that they don't want to do. They don't want to go this way, but they haven't decided it, and they feel pressured from society that they have to do it this way. Well, I think that this is a major problem in today's community, because a lot of people are just wasting their time and money doing some degrees that they don't want to do. What I would do, and what I think is the correct way, is if you don't know what to do, go travel the world, find internships, get some work experience, and you're gonna find out eventually what you want to do and what you're happy doing. Exactly. And when you know what you want to do, then you can go get the degree. If you want to do, let's say, physics, do a physics degree, become a physician. If you want to do engineering, become an engineer, get a degree, become an engineer. And this is what I think is the best way. If you don't know what you want to do after high school, that's perfectly fine. You go, you travel the world, you get internships, you do work experience, and eventually you find out what to do, and you work towards that goal.
Action is a solution to everything.
Action is a solution to everything.
Absolutely, my friend.
Absolutely. Now, a lot of times people give up on their dreams. Let's try to stay on a similar topic.
Yeah.
Why do you think people give up on their dreams?
Because it's hard.
It's hard.
And it's not for everyone. Not everyone can be successful. Not everyone can be a millionaire. And that's just the way the world works. I'm not in a position to say this, but we always need certain jobs and certain spaces to be filled. We need garbage men. We need people. We need cleaners. The only reason becoming successful and becoming a millionaire is worth it is because it's hard.
It's hard, absolutely.
If it wasn't hard, if it wasn't, if the path wasn't filled with pain, if it wasn't filled with difficulties, with unpredictability, if you weren't anxious, stressed, and scared to do this, if
it wouldn't be worth it. It wouldn't be. The thing is, I think that if everyone could be super successful, if everyone could be a millionaire, if everyone had a Ferrari or Lamborghini, it wouldn't be worth it.
Exactly. If everyone outside drove a Ferrari, would you want a Ferrari?
Probably not. It would be average. Everyone would have it, and I think that's the beauty of life. You need to work hard, and the pain, the suffering makes you the person that you become.
Exactly.
Take all these successful people. Take, let's say, Sam Altman. When he dropped out of Stanford, he tried to create a startup. He tried to become an entrepreneur. He failed horribly, and he was dubbed the failed entrepreneur. A person who changed the world. Exactly. A few years later, he was called the failed entrepreneur. And failure, stress, the hard work that goes through, this is why being successful is so respected.
Yeah.
Because if everyone could just achieve their dreams like this, it wouldn't be respected, would it?
Exactly. Another thing school didn't teach you is all the difficulties, pain, and hardship that you go through life is shaping who you are as a person.
Exactly.
It's shaping your character, it's shaping who you are as a person, and it is the prerequisite to success. In order to get to where you want to get, you need to go through difficulties. You need to be stressed. You need to be scared. You need to go through all these things.
And school doesn't prepare you for this. This is what's so frustrating about it. When you let's say you had a test in math and you got a bad grade, it's a failure. Instead of them telling you, hey, look, you should use this as motivation because you can do it. They just say, hey, you're not as smart as these other kids. Who made you the judge?
Very well
I
put.
believe that failure is the key to success because you get experience. You try again. If you're 20 failures away, how quickly would you want to fail?
Exactly. And if we reframe...
This is a really good quote, actually. I love this
Yeah,
quote.
if we reframe failure as opportunities to learn, then it's completely different. Because all failure is just you trying something out and it not working out. From that, you can take some actionable knowledge, implement it, and moving forward, you're not going to make the same mistake. The only reason we all want to become successful, the only reason we all want to have a lot of money or be a respected lawyer or a judge or an entrepreneur is because it's hard.
It's hard.
If it wasn't hard, you wouldn't want it in the first place.
No.
It is the prerequisite to why you want it. So hard is non-negotiable. Anything that is worth the climb.
Anything that's worth the climb is hard.
It's hard. It's gotta be hard.
Nothing comes without challenges. When you look at Elon Musk, the amount of challenges he was through. When you look at Mark Zuckerberg, he was kicked out of Harvard. He was kicked out of one of the best institutions in the world.
And that's the thing. Every winner is stressed. Every winner feels the same way that you feel. The thing is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to let it stop you or are you going to let it push you forward?
Push you forward, exactly. And the mindset is everything. The mind is everything. The way we look at things. I have to do this or I can do this. The glass is half empty or half full.
Exactly.
So the mentality, the way we approach, I think this is what school should prepare students for. Hey, look,
Shifting your perspective.
Shifting your perspective, exactly. You should always be optimistic. There's this term in economics called setbacks, which means at equilibrium. And when you use this term, it's about the market correcting itself, saying that if supply falls, if something happens, eventually it's going to get back to setbacks. And sometimes it's going to go higher.
Yeah. You can't live your life based on how you feel. That is not how it works. You can feel happy today, sad tomorrow, stressed the other day, and then happy again. You can't You can't base your actions based on how you feel.
You have to be consistent.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to be consistent.
And you can't, and it's not going to be that you feel optimistic all the time. You got to have the discipline to continue doing the things that you're supposed to do, regardless of how you feel. You have to wake up every single day, take the necessary steps to get where you want to go, regardless of how you feel.
The good thing about school, one of the best things about school, is that it teaches that even if you don't want to go, you have to show up on time every single day, and you have to be there. You have to work hard. And I think that this is something that people don't understand. Lucky days. They say that, oh, all I need is a lucky day to be successful. You won't miss a lucky day if you try every day.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Oh, that is so good.
I love this quote.
Exactly. So when they say that success is luck, all luck is when opportunity meets preparation. And if you show up every single day, you're never going to miss a lucky day.
You're never going to miss a lucky day.
You're never going to miss a lucky day.
And you should always try your best. The thing about school is that it doesn't teach you to always try your best. It only teaches you to try your best during, let's say, when you have a test, when you have an exam, because that's what matters in the system. It doesn't matter if you do well on the lesson, if you participate, if you help others. No, it matters, hey, look, I'm doing an exam. I just have to prepare for that. But in the real world, you have to try your best every day because you don't know who's watching. When you're, let's say, working, when you're, let's say, presenting, some person might be watching who's this really successful person who wants to network with you and wants to connect with you, and that could change your life.
Yeah, Nico, I sent thousands of cold emails, thousands, before I could, land my first client, thousands. And maybe if I didn't try a certain day, I wouldn't maybe land on a certain website and find certain information that would lead me to a certain client, and I would miss out.
You could have given up after 50. You could have said, okay, no, this is too hard. I can't do this. You could have given up.
And then I would miss out on one of the most important journeys and experiences of my life. I would miss out on so much money, miss out on so much growth, experiences. And honestly, if you give up, if you quit, you're never going to achieve anything that is worth achieving. The only reason that something is valuable is because it's hard to get.
Let's reshape that, because if you quit or give up on your goals, but because sometimes you have to give some things up.
That is not the same as giving up. Yeah. Maybe you need to give up drinking. Maybe you need to give up partying. Maybe you need to give up chasing girls. But if you give up on chasing your goals, chasing your dreams, doing the things that you're supposed to do only because it feels hard, because a feeling is shaping you, it's influencing you to take action.
Absolutely.
The game is not for you. You should just go back to something easier.
I could agree. And now let's close up the podcast by giving advice to people our age. So what advice would you give to people our age?
What advice would I give to people our age? Just be kind, do good things, respect everyone. Do anything that you want to do as long as you're not harming others. Be ambitious. Don't be afraid to dream. Don't be afraid to take risks. Go outside your comfort zone. Don't let anyone tell you you can't do anything, and just be yourself at the end of the day. You don't need to put yourself in a certain frame. Don't need to pretend that you're someone else. Do what you want to do. Be kind, be good. Don't harm anyone else. And as long as you do that, I think as long as you're a good person, as long as you do good things, you're grateful, you're thankful to God, I think anything is possible for you.
I couldn't agree more. And all I want to tell some of the young people out there who are watching us. I think that you should always chase your goals. You should always try your best every single day. And you should always be consistent. If someone tells you, haha, you can't achieve this, trust me, they're never going to achieve their goals and you're going to achieve yours. You should always be consistent, always work hard, and do not let external factors that are out of your control affect you and your daily life. Something might happen, something bad might happen. You might fail, and it might be out of your control, and don't stress of that.
Life happens.
And the thing is, I stress about stuff that are out of my control, and you sometimes stress about stuff that are outside your control. But we need to know that
You should
be
focus
prepared.
on something that is in your control.
Exactly.
Not on the things that are out of control.
Something that's out of your control might, let's say, ruin a project of yours, but it's not outside your control. Don't worry about it too much. Just keep going. You'll make it eventually.
Absolutely. Beautifully said, my friend. It was
Thank
an
you.
honor. Thank you.
Thank you.